Mr. Clerk, could you please read the roll?
Councilor Arroyo.
Arroyo.
Councilor Arroyo. Present. Councilor Baker. Councilor Bach. Councilor Breadon. Councilor Campbell. Councilor Edwards. Councilor Sabi George. Councilor Flaherty. Councilor Flynn. Councilor Janey.
Present.
Councilor Mejia. Councilor O'Malley. And Councilor Wu. A quorum is present.
Thank you so much, Mr. Clerk. I have been informed by the clerk that a quorum is present. At this time, I would ask all councilors and guests to please rise. Councilor Asabi George will introduce our clergy for today, and then after the invocation is delivered, I would ask that all members and all guests remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilor Asabi George.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm honored today to have Tina Stewart join us for today's council meeting. Tina is our only and first chaplain for our emergency medical services practitioners and is a EMS practitioner and a minister for the Assembly of God. As a first responder, Tina is a dedicated and invaluable member of our community who serves on the front line on during one of our most challenging public health crises. Not only does she deliver life-saving medical services for our residents, but she also provides spiritual guidance and support for her colleagues as a chaplain. Our EMS practitioners experience tremendous stress and mental health challenges from the trauma they witness in their day-to-day work. Unfortunately, those challenges often get overlooked and neglected. As a chaplain, Tina works tirelessly to support their well-being. Her efforts provide our EMS workers with the emotional guidance they need to continue delivering the excellent and high-quality patient care our residents receive every day. I am grateful to have Tina as a member of our community because she has risen above and beyond to improve the quality of life for our residents and for the support she gives our EMS members. Thank you, Tina, for joining us today.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am very blessed and I'm very honored to be here. As we gather here today, we thank you, God, for all who are present. May we all be reminded that you are an all-powerful and mighty God who still works amongst us today, and he loves us compassionately, all of us. Thank you, God, to be able to call upon your name and trust in your guidance. Thank you for the many talents, abilities, and work that's put forth. May you, God, bless these individuals today with wisdom and knowledge to make decisions with discernment and not by might nor by power, but by your Spirit. May you, God, penetrate with a hope and a passion to accomplish the tasks that need to be met. Let their work come to fruition and that they will not become weary in doing good. For at the proper time, they will reap a harvest if they do not give up. Let us remember Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. May every leader and all involved be courageous and not discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. May he strengthen you and help you and uphold you with his righteous hand. May the God of all hope fill you with joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope and the power of the Holy Spirit. Lord God, may you guide and provide the way today, and let your peace rain down, that it showers all, that they may work together efficiently and multiply their efforts. Heavenly Father, God bless this meeting and all those that it will affect. Keep them all safe and shine your face upon them. Let your light guide the way and direct their path. And always remember, God says, call to me and I will answer you and show you great and mighty things which you do not know. Bless you all and take care. God bless. Thank you very much for having me. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I give the glory to God.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to thank our clergy today for that wonderful prayer. I also want to recognize that we are joined in the chamber by a number of young people from Boston Community Leadership Academy and their teacher, Mr. Opp. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, young folks. I had a wonderful time speaking with them earlier. Wonderful. Thank you so much. At this time, Mr. Clerk, could you please amend the attendance report to reflect the counselors who arrived after we called the roll? Counselor Bach, Counselor Breadon, Counselor Flaherty. Are there others? That's it? That's it? Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Now on to the first order of business, the approval of the minutes. If there are no corrections to be made, the minutes of the last meeting will stand as approved. Seeing and hearing no objections, the minutes are so approved. We will now move on to communications from His Honor the Mayor. Mr. Clerk, if you could please read docket 0451.
Docket number 0451, message in order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $400,000 in the form of a grant from the Market Development Program, awarded by the Mass Center for Excellence Corporation, to be administered by the Environment Department. The grant will fund the city's procurement of a solar storage system at Moon Island, which will provide a critical training asset to the city and the region's emergency response and inspection service professionals.
Thank you. Docket 0451 will be referred to the Committee on Environment, Resiliency, and Parks. Could we now move on to docket 0452?
Docket number 0452, message in order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $130,415 in the form of a grant for the Fair Housing Assistance Program, awarded by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, to be administered by the Fair Housing and Equity Commission. The grant will fund the processing of housing discrimination complaints received by the Boston Fair Housing and Equity Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Docket 0452 will be referred to the Committee on Housing and Community Development. Could you now please read docket 0453?
Docket number 0453, message in order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $12,880.58 in the form of a charitable donation awarded by the Joe Gallant Memorial Foundation, to be administered by the Police Department. The grant will fund $6,000 pilot program offering yoga to Boston Police Department personnel at the Police Academy and would also provide $6,880.58 towards the renovation and installation of enhanced technology at the District 4 Community Room for on-site community meetings.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The chair now recognizes Councilor Campbell. Councilor Campbell, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to ask for suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0453. It's a relatively small amount that we want to, of course, get into the hands of the police department as soon as possible, specifically for the yoga training, which yoga is awesome. But given their line of work, everyone thinks, I think it would be beneficial, not only that they could do yoga, but also that they get the money. The other part of the grant is for technology at the District 4 Community Room to allow for more meetings and the public to actually bring their meetings into that space, enhancement to the room itself. So I ask for suspension of the rules and passage. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Campbell. Councilor Campbell seeks suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0453. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it, and docket 0453 has been passed. We will now move on to reports of public officers and others. Mr. Clerk, if you could please read docket 0454.
Docket number 0454. Notice was received from the mayor of the appointment of Malachi Hernandez as a member of the City of Boston Scholarship Fund Committee for a term expiring June 1st, 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Docket 0454 will be placed on file. We will now move on to the next part of the agenda, which is our reports from committee. Mr. Clerk, if you could please read docket 0113 through 0117. We're going to read those together.
Docket number 0113. The Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket 0113. Message in order for the confirmation of the reappointment of John Freeman as a member of the Boston Landmarks Commission for a term ending June 30th, 2021. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0114. The Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket 0114. Message in order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Susan Goganian as a member of the Boston Landmarks Commission for a term ending June 30th, 2021. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0115. The Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0115. Message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Joseph Castro as a member of the Boston Landmarks Commission for a term ending June 30th, 2020. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0116. The Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0116. Message in order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Bradford Walker as a member of the Boston Landmarks Commission for a term ending June 30th, 2020. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. And docket number 0117, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket 0117. Message in order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Christopher Hart as an alternate member of the Boston Landmarks Commission for a term ending June 30th, 2020. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Now, if you could please read dockets 0106 through 0128. We'll read those together as well.
Docket number 0106, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0106. Message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Susanna Gaspar as the member of the Back Bay Architectural Committee Commission for a term ending December 31, 2024. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0107, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0107. Message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Meredith Christensen as a member of the Back Bay Architectural Committee Commission for a term ending December 31st, 2022. submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0108, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0108, message in order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Kathleen Connor as a member of the Back Bay Architectural Committee Commission for a term ending December 31st, 2021. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0109, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29th, 2020. Docket number 0109, message in order for the confirmation of the reappointment of John Christensen as a member of the Back Bay Architectural Commission for a term ending December 31st, 2023. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0110, the Committee on Planning and Development, which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0110, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Cooper King as a member of the Back Bay Architectural Commission for a term ending December 31st, 2023. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0111, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket 0111, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of James Berkman as a member of the Back Bay Architectural Commission for a term ending December 31st, 2021. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0112, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket 0112, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Ethel McLeod as a member of the Back Bay Architectural Commission for a term ending December 31st, 2024. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0118, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0118, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Andrew Shelburne as a member of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District Commission. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0119, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket 0119, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Curtis Maxwell Perrin as a member of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District Commission. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0120, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0120, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Diana Parcon as a member of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District Commission. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0121, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket 0121. 0121, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Ernest Costin as a member of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District Commission. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0122, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0122, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of John Freeman as a member of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District Commission. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0123, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket 0123, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of John Ellerton as a member of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District Commission. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0124, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0124, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Christian Hoffman as a member of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District Commission. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0125, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket 0125, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Lucy Lomas as a member of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 126, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0126, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Lynn Smilage as a member of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District Commission. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. Docket number 0127, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0127, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Andrea Caceres as a member of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District Commission. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed. And docket number 0128, the Committee on Planning and Development, to which was referred on January 29, 2020. Docket number 0128, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Susan Goganian as a member of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District Commission. Submits a report recommending the appointment ought to be confirmed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Whew. The chair now recognizes Councilor Wu. Councilor Wu is the chair of the Committee on Planning, Development, and Transportation. Councilor Wu, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Mr. Clerk. As you can hear, we had 2 hearings covering 3 different commissions with a lot of appointments and confirmations. Within that, there were 5 appointments to the Boston Landmarks Commission, 7 to the Back Bay Architectural Commission, and 11 to the new study committee on the potential designation of the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District. So all of these fall into the umbrella of the wonderful things that go through this committee in terms of the council's role, confirming people who serve on our historic preservation entities. These are boards, usually, the Boston Landmarks is the umbrella one, and then multiple neighborhood level boards and commissions, of which there are more appointments to come in future weeks, that bring community members together to discuss what our role should be in that balance between preserving what is here now, especially given the long history of Boston and all of the incredible community knowledge and memories that are bound up in these buildings, as well compared to what we should be clearing away and making room for new development to take over. So every generation has this back and forth of when do we tear something down, when do we preserve it. I think our city is very lucky that previous generations often erred on the side of preserving and making sure we had physical manifestations of the history that people have lived in communities all across Boston. So these are the people who will be in charge of having those conversations. The 5 to the Boston Landmarks Commission include 4 reappointments and 1 new member. Many of the reappointed, the members that are reappointed have a long history of decades long of participating. They brought up several issues related to the Landmarks Commission, mostly around resources, that in this big development boom, there's a lot of pressure to knock down and rebuild new, often boxy, maximizing the profit and development that's happening today. But when the Landmarks Commission and the Roseanne Foley's office, the executive director of the Landmarks Commission, when her office doesn't have enough resources to get through all of the things they need to study in order to make the right designations in a timely manner of what should be preserved versus knocked down, it's incredibly difficult to do that job. So that is a flag for our budget conversation. They also brought up the fact that Boston currently has a 90-day demolition delay permit. So when there's a building or asset that's deemed to be historic according to certain metrics and databases, the developers aren't necessarily prohibited from changing what they own, but they are asked to have 90 days where the community can come together and potentially have a longer conversation about what to do with that. And we've seen some examples where that delay has led to saving buildings. Other cities have longer delays, and so that was brought up as one policy item to consider. In terms of the Back Bay Architectural Commission, sandwich board signs came up, and how to manage the look of the area with the need to promote businesses. And then with the Highland Park Architectural Conservation District, this was extremely exciting because we're talking about potentially creating a new commission. The 11 people that would be nominated would likely be the core of the commissioners if the commission is recognized in the future. And this area has seen a lot of community energy. They focused a lot on community outreach, not just how do we save and talk about buildings and physical assets, but the memories inside and the community that represents. So I recommend passage of confirmation of all of these individuals, and there will be more to come. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Councilor Wu. Is anyone else looking to speak? Wonderful. So we have to vote on each one of these separately. Okay, so moving right along, and we'll start with the first docket. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0113. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0114. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0115. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0116. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0117. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0117. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0106. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0107. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0108. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket number 0108. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0109. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0110. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0111. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0112. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0118. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0119. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0120. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0121. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0122. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0123. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0124. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0125. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0126. All those in favor say aye. All opposed nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0127. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Last one, I promise, I hope. Councilor Wu seeks acceptance of the committee report and passage of docket 0128. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The committee report has been accepted and the appointment has been confirmed. Did we get all of those? Yes. Thank God. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Before we move on to the next item on the agenda, which is motions, orders, and resolutions, I want to take a moment to recognize that we are joined in the chamber by our Register of Probate, Felix D. Arroyo. Felix, thank you so much for being here. We also have a former colleague, former Councilor Felix G. Arroyo in the chamber. Thank you so much for being here. And now we will move on to motions, orders, and resolutions. Mr. Clerk, if you could please read docket 0455. Thank you.
Docket number 0455. Councilor Arroyo offered the following. Order for a hearing to declare racism a public health crisis and on the creation of an independent office that assesses the racial equity impact of all City of Boston policies, procedures, regulations, executive orders, and legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The chair now recognizes Councilor Arroyo. Councilor Arroyo, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Before I begin, I'd like to make two acknowledgments. First, I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Ops class from the Boston Community Leadership Academy from Hyde Park in the heart of District 5. As you sit here today, I'd like you to understand that you belong here. These are your spaces. I'd also like to acknowledge my father, Felix D. Arroyo, the current Register of Probate, who has opened many doors, not least of which the doors to the Boston City Council as the first Latino ever elected. It's a privilege and an honor to be your son. I'm proud of the work you continue to do. I love you. Racism is the largest driving force of injustice in America. According to the American Public Health Association, racism is a driving force of the social determinants of health. According to the American Academy of Pediatricians, racism continues to undermine the health of children, adolescents, and families. The Boston Public Health Commission has stated that racism has an independent influence on all social determinants of health in Boston, and racism in and of itself has an impact on health. Institutions, systems, and processes are created and are responsible for their results. Justice here requires acknowledging that these systems and processes are responsible for the racial inequities that they create and that they worsen. It requires acknowledgement that racism is built into their creation, intentionally or unintentionally, and it continues to have an impact today. According to the Boston Public Health Commission, Blacks and Latinos rank at the bottom of every single health outcome in Boston, including life expectancy, infant mortality, heart disease, diabetes, and asthma. Justice requires accepting responsibility for the reality that systemic and interpersonal racism is responsible for Blacks and Latinos ranking at the bottom of those health outcomes in Boston. Too often, those disparities are noted without mention of the systemic racism that contributes to and often drives those outcomes. To do so creates a narrative that people of color, most especially Black and Latino people of color, are inherently broken. Justice requires we hold the force of those inequities accountable, the driving force of those inequities accountable. It requires declaring that racism, institutional, interpersonal, is that driving force. Justice requires that we join Milwaukee, Madison, and Pittsburgh in declaring racism a public health crisis in Boston. However, we know that that alone is not enough. We know that all policies, procedures, regulations, executive orders, and legislation at the municipal level impact racial equity. And we have the ability, in the passage of those things, to quite literally subtract years off of the lives of people of color in Boston. That is why we must ensure that racial equity is at the forefront of everything that we do. One of the ways to ensure this is by creating an independent office that will assess the racial equity impact of all of City of Boston initiatives before they are implemented, ensuring that we do municipally, that everything we do at the municipal level is done through a racial equity lens. Racism is real. It's a public health crisis in the City of Boston. It requires that we name it, that we shame it, and that we change it. We cannot willfully or unknowingly look the other way. Many of us sit in these very seats because of the efforts of the generations that came before us to make these changes, to tackle these problems. We owe it to our constituents, we owe it to the generations to come, and we owe it to the children not yet born to do the work required to eradicate systemic racism and its harmful impacts. It takes a systemic cure for a systemic ill. I am under no illusion that tackling racism will be easy. However, there is no other choice. I ask that you join me, and I know that together we can set an example in the City of Boston to the world that we know how to address, that we are willing to address, and we are going to do the work to address systemic racism and its ills. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilor Arroyo. Is anyone else looking to speak on this matter or add their name? Mr. Clerk, if you could please add Councilor Bach, Councilor Breadon. Would you like to speak, Councilor Campbell? Councilor Campbell, would you like to add your name? I'm going to come back to you. Councilor Asabi George, Councilor Flaherty, Councilor Flynn, Councilor Mejia, Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Wu would like to speak. Would you like to also add your name? Please add Councilor Wu, and please also add the chair. The chair now recognizes Councilor Campbell. Councilor Campbell, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President, and I just want to thank my colleague, Councilor Arroyo, for bringing forth the hard stuff, and for starting with the hard stuff, but the necessary stuff. When we talk about race and racism, as you said, it is real. It touches every issue that we talk about in the city, whether it is access to quality schools, health inequities, transportation and transportation deserts, parks, who has access to green space. The history of the City of Boston, of course, is tied and linked with, of course, race and racism. So I just wanted to stand up to applaud you for taking on the hard stuff and the difficult the difficult topic. I also want to applaud you for not just staying in the space of the problem, but putting forth already concrete ideas to address the very issue. I look forward to the conversation and the hearing to explore all of the possibilities. But the office itself that you're talking about, and I appreciated our conversation, that really could, in an independent way, look at everything that we do, not only in this body, but in the administration, to have it go through some robust process to determine whether or not that policy, that legislation, that regulation is having a disproportionate impact on communities of color, is expanding or increasing inequities or decreasing them, is essential. Otherwise, why are we here, right? And so thank you for taking on the hard stuff. Proud to partner with you as sort of across the district lines. But thank you for your courage. I'm sure you've gotten a lot of calls already with starting with this, but I applaud your courage and your willingness to be bold, because otherwise none of this work matters if we don't tackle it and look at it through an equity lens, but most importantly, a racial equity lens. So thank you very much. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. The chair now recognizes Councillor Wu. Councillor Wu, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I just rise to say this is the scale of action and urgency that I like to see from the 2020 Boston City Council. So I'm so proud and grateful that you are here and making your voice known, heard, and most importantly, a platform for other people to have their voices heard as well. So I can't wait to support your leadership across this and delve into many specific topics under this big, urgent item, and look forward to supporting your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wu. The chair now recognizes Councillor Baker. Councillor Baker. Thank you. Could you please add Councillor Baker, Mr. Clerk? The chair now recognizes Councillor Mejia. Councillor Mejia, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. So I just wanted to congratulate Ricardo for starting up, Councillor Arroyo, for starting off as bold and as big as I expected him to do. So I am really encouraged by this piece of legislation that you are proposing, and I also want to echo the sentiment that having survived the busing era here in the city of Boston and understanding the deep-rooted racism that exists and the hate, my hope is that as we explore this, that we consider this conversation around unity and recognizing that we need a lot of healing in the city of Boston. And if we're going to have a conversation around race, that we need to center it around the fact that we need to build bridges and bring people across our differences, no matter whether we live in West Roxbury or in Roxbury. At the end of the day, we're all struggling, right? And so really looking at this conversation from helping people and bringing those who may not want to hear it to the table in ways that will alleviate some of their pain. And lastly, as I just wanted to also uplift the importance of socioeconomic status and class as we look at the health disparities. Let us not forget that there are a lot of people who are struggling to make their ends meet regardless of what their race happens to be, and that we cannot forget that poverty is real and there is a war on poverty, and let's just make sure that we keep that lens as the health disparity situation unfolds. Arroyo, I'm here for it all. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Councilor Mejia. Anyone else looking to speak? Wonderful. Thank you all. Docket 0455 will be referred to the Committee of Public Health. Mr. Clerk, if you could please read docket 0456.
Docket number 0456, Councilor Breadon offered the following. Order for a hearing regarding the future of BCYF Jackson Man Community Center.
Thank you. The chair now recognizes Councilor Breadon. Councilor Breadon, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. There's a situation going on evolving in Alston-Brighton with regard to the Jackson Man Community Complex. It's the Boston Centres for Youth and Families, BCYF, Jackson Man Community Centre, is the only BCYF community centre in Alston-Brighton neighbourhood, and we have a population of approximately 70,000 residents. This centre is a critically important resource for our diverse neighbourhood and has served as a community hub, providing educational, cultural, social and recreational programmes for all ages since 1976, when the building was built. We learned last year that the Jackson Man complex, although it is a relatively modern, recently constructed building, which houses the Jackson Elementary School, the Horace Mann School for the Deaf, and the Jackson Mann BCYF Community Centre, is in an advanced stage of disrepair to the extent that it needs to be demolished. The building is scheduled to close next July 2021, and that time is approaching really fast. It's coming down very fast. It is vitally important that in District 9 that we have a plan for the relocation of the Jackson Man Community Centre after July 2021. It is also important to note that the impending closure of the Jackson Man complex as a whole will happen at the same time as another community resource will be closed for renovation, the Faneuil Branch Library in Oak Square. The Alston-Brighton community wants answers about the future of these schools, both the schools, which will be addressed by the BPS, but also the BCYF Centre, which plays such an important role in our neighbourhood. Where will the community centre be temporarily housed? Will the necessary funds be appropriated to find a temporary location to prepare and build out that venue to continue to provide the services to our community and allow the centre to meet their contractual obligations for preschool and adult education classes? And in the longer term, where will the BCYF centre find a new home? I therefore call for a hearing regarding the future of this very important asset in our neighbourhood, the BCYF Jackson Man Community Centre. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Councillor, the chair now recognizes Councillor Flaherty.
Please add my name, Madam President.
Thank you. Anyone else looking to speak? The chair now recognizes Councillor Mejia. Councillor Mejia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Looking to add my name in support of this, and I also just want to uplift the fact that there are a lot of young people who end up feeling the dramatic impact of being displaced when we see our schools closing, community centers, and I think that I'm looking at this through a public health lens, and the trauma that our children are experiencing when these closures do happen is part of that conversation. So I'm looking forward to joining this cause and being a voice.
Wonderful.
In fact, I'll be there tonight, Liz.
Wonderful. Anyone else looking to speak or add their name? Mr. Clerk, if you could please add Councillor Arroyo, Councillor Baker, Councillor Bach, Councillor Campbell, Councillor Sabi George. We have Councillor Flaherty, Councillor Flynn, Councillor Mejia, Councillor Wu, and please also add the chair. Docket 0456 will be referred to the Committee on Strong Women, Family, and Communities. Mr. Clerk, could we please read docket 0457?
Docket number 0457. Councillor Flynn offered the following. Resolution supporting our Chinese and Asian communities during the COVID-19 epidemic.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The chair now recognizes Councillor Flynn. Councillor Flynn, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, may I add Councilor Flaherty as an original co-sponsor?
Seeing and hearing no objections, yes. Councillor Flaherty is added. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I'm filing this resolution today to express support for the Chinese and Asian communities throughout Greater Boston, especially as it relates to this ongoing coronavirus public health concern that's impacting our country, that's impacting our world. I was part of a hearing in early February, and we heard testimony from a young high school student at Boston Latin who was on the train, and once she sat down on a train, she was an Asian student. When she sat on the train, half of the train got up and left because they didn't want to sit near her because they were ignorant about the public health crisis. But that type of racism, that type of discrimination that we're seeing, not only here in our city but across the country, is uncalled for. During these difficult times of a public health challenge, especially, it's about coming together. It's about treating our Chinese community, treating our Asian community with respect, treating them with dignity and empathy. Instead of blaming them for something, let's work together with the Asian community, providing good medical advice, providing support to them, providing love to them. But the last thing we need to do is to discriminate against them. We saw that after the after we built the transcontinental railroad built by the Chinese and the Irish. And after the transcontinental railroad was built in our country, the first thing our country did was enacted the Chinese Exclusion Act, which limited the number of Chinese residents, Chinese immigrants coming to our country. So our country has a long history of discrimination against Chinese, against Asians as well. So I'm asking my colleagues to support me, support this resolution, so we can stand with the Chinese community, stand with the Asian community during this difficult time, but letting them know that this city council and this city administration will always treat the Chinese and the Asian community with respect, dignity, and empathy. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Councilor Flaherty, did you want to speak? Anyone else looking to speak or add their name? Mr. Clerk, if you could please add Councilor Arroyo, Councilor Baker, Councilor Bach, Councilor Breadon, Councilor Campbell, Councilor Sabri George, Councilor Mejia, Councilor O'Malley, Councilor Wu, and please also add the chair. Councilor Flynn seeks suspension of the rules and adoption of docket 0457. All those in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, and docket 0457 has been adopted. Mr. Clerk, we'll move on now to docket 0458.
Docket number 0458, Councilors O'Malley and Wu offered the following: order for a hearing to discuss the City of Boston's preparedness on the risk of contracting coronavirus COVID-19.
Thank you so much, Mr. Clerk. The chair now recognizes Councilor O'Malley. Councilor O'Malley, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I first seek to suspend Rule 12 and add the District 2 Councilor as an original co-sponsor.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I also wanted to acknowledge the great partnership of the District 5 Councilor, as well as, of course, my lead partner in this, the at-large Councilor from Rosedale, for her partnership. This is really a remarkable time as we talk about the coronavirus, COVID-19. We are watching a pandemic unfold in real time. And it's important as we local officials to not create a false panic, but recognize the enormity of this global pandemic that is happening. The city and the Commonwealth deserve justifiable praise for their handling of it thus far. I take issue with the federal government's response, which has treated this more of an economic impact, which of course it is, than the public health risk that it seriously poses. So I think it's important that we as local officials provide as much information and offer the people of Boston, the people who live and work in Boston, an opportunity to have their questions answered, to find out as much information, some real information that is out there and being disseminated to as many people in as many languages at as many access points as humanly possible. We know right now that the total number of global cases of COVID-19 surpassed 90,000, and there have been 3,200 fatalities. In the United States, there have been 9 tragic deaths thus far and 125 cases of COVID-19. In Massachusetts, just minutes before we adjourned the council meeting we opened the council meeting for the week, Governor Baker noted that there have been 700 people who have self-quarantined in the Commonwealth, and there have been 20 people tested. Once again, due to the paucity of leadership happening at the federal level, it's up to cities, it's up to states to lead on this. Just the other day, Governor Cuomo of New York announced that every Medicaid recipient would have access to free testing for COVID-19. That is a really important and vital step. Obviously, what gets tested gets managed well. We should be doing the same thing in the Commonwealth, and that's one thing that I hope can come from this hearing. We need to make sure, again, that we utilize our access points for disseminating information, not just through the media, not just through television, through social media, working with the MBTA, for example, who, it should be noted, today Steve Poftak earlier today noticed that the T is going to have a new policy where every 4 hours they're going to disinfect basically turnstiles, any area, the Charlie card machines, anything that it can be touched. We want to recognize the fact that steps from here, miles from here really, is the Longwood Medical Area, where we have some of the greatest minds in the world that are working on better understanding this new strain, this new virus that was just several months old, but also coming up with a cure. So we need to figure out our best way to convene all the relevant stakeholders, not only medical professionals, public health professionals, public education, public safety professionals, as well as special events. In fewer than 50 days, it's the Boston Marathon. There have been other cities, Tokyo, for example, which has severely curtailed that race. They're only allowing elite runners to run. Boston adopts that. I won't get to run in this race for sure, which will be somewhat of a mixed bag. But it's just showing these large-scale events that are happening. The July 4th Esplanade. I mean, there are so many large-scale events. And again, I want to strike the right balance here where we're not creating a false panic because things have been handled pretty well thus far. But the risk that this has posed in other municipalities is something that we cannot dismiss and something that we cannot turn a blind eye to. So working alongside my dear colleagues, and I know everyone here has been working on this and fielding calls from constituents and trying to answer as much information. Media who is here today, media have done a great job covering this as well, and so we want to make sure that we can use every access point to disseminate this information. Let's call for a hearing. Let's do it in relatively short order. Let's invite members of the public who may not be able to testify or show up in person to ask these questions to facilitate either through the website or through other means to be able to bring questions to us, which we can then present to the folks. We should not be politicizing this, and no one here is politicizing this. And I was even hesitant to call for a hearing order because I didn't want to make it seem as though we would be politicizing this. But basically, the purpose of this hearing order is to collect information, to present information, to hear from the public safety and the public health professionals, and then to disseminate that information to people who live in Boston and work in Boston. This is the role of the City Council. It's important to deal with our constituent services. It's important to deal with the large-scale issues that we're talking about, that we've talked about today. But really, we have to be the best access point on issues of national importance such as this. So thank again my dear colleague and friend, the at-large councillor from Rosendale, as well as the District 2 councillor and District 5 councillor for their partnership. We have to get to work. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Councillor O'Malley. The chair now recognizes Councillor Wu. Councillor Wu, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to echo the balance and the comments that Councillor O'Malley has made about making sure we are presenting the right mix of information and next steps and access to the public, but keeping it in the lens of medically accurate information. Last month, several weeks ago at this point, many of you all joined our event in Chinatown at China Pearl to draw attention to the fact that the initial outbreak, when the risk to Boston was very low, when there was certainly no more risk in Chinatown than in any other community, yet our businesses in Chinatown were experiencing the economic impact of misinformation as people were making decisions about how to spend their time and where to spend their dollars, maybe assuming or believing or unconsciously subscribing to stereotypes that led them to believe that Chinatown was not safe. And so we had a huge rally of support. I'm going to thank Councillors Bach and Breadon and Sabi George and Flaherty and so many others for being there and expressing your support. We did the same thing in Quincy the weekend after that and had another great response. So that is one body of work that the council's been doing. I think what we're focusing on today is to make sure that we are staying on top of the evolving pandemic. That at this point, with so many fatalities, with the encroaching number of quarantine cases and the risk that grows across this country, we have to make sure people are armed first and foremost with knowing what to do in a way that is accurate and in a way that is empowering. So I want to draw attention also to that it's not just the science, right? Knowing the facts about when you're contagious and what to do as an individual when you might be feeling certain symptoms, but what processes and infrastructure our public health system needs to be evaluating now. A constituent reached out to me when she saw that we had filed this hearing order and shared that a few days ago she had had a cough that then was accompanied by a fever that came on. She went to one of our great hospitals in Boston and had a pretty scary experience of being passed around. Eventually, one staff member told her she wasn't sure if this would be, the thing, the COVID-19, and that she was, quote unquote, literally her worst nightmare because they just were not prepared. Eventually, they tried to page an emergency doctor to get some guidance on what they should do, how to test, was there anything that they should be doing to evaluate this constituent, and never got a call back. So even at the very basic level of people's interactions with our healthcare system, even as we know the risk nationally and internationally, Boston still has a ways to go in terms of connecting that down to the face-to-face information and testing and treatment that people are getting. So both in terms of the science as well as our infrastructure, we have to be prepared. And the last thing I want to say is that it's also not just about coronavirus in 2020. This is going to be something that we have to face as a society and as a world for the foreseeable future. That this won't be the last pandemic, especially in the age of climate change, as humans are encroaching on animal habitats, as the warming weather makes it so that there are more mosquitoes and other animals that are likely to carry potential viruses that could spread then from animal to human to human. This won't be the last time we're confronted with this, and what we can do now is to make sure that we are putting in place not just the immediate steps, but the long-term public health infrastructure that will keep us safe in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilor Wu. The chair now recognizes Councilor Flynn. Councilor Flynn, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you to Councilor O'Malley and Councilor Wu for their leadership on this issue, and Councilor Arroyo as well. Madam President, when we first heard about this, about the coronavirus in early February, I worked closely with Chief Marty Martinez to make sure we get the most accurate, updated medical information to the residents, especially the Chinese residents of Chinatown or the South End. We had a forum on February 7th at the Josiah Quincy School. Chief Martinez helped coordinate it. Chief Hooley was there, other medical professionals as well. Councilor Sabi George was also there. But that hearing, we provided accurate medical information to the residents. The residents were concerned, but when you provide them with information that's accurate and up to date, residents are confident that we have a good team in place. And I'm also confident we have a great public health team in the city and in the state that are working closely on this. I just visited today with Castle Square Association in the South End. It's a largely Chinese community. I went with Sophia from my office, and we talked to them about the coronavirus and what precautions they can take during this crisis. The residents had a lot of questions for us, but once we answer the questions and we provide accurate information from the City of Boston Public Health Commission in Chinese, the residents are reassured that the city is doing everything that they need to do to address this. But part of this outreach is also language access. I couldn't be an effective city councilor in communicating with my residents if I didn't have 3 people on my staff, Sophia, Vanessa, and Melissa, that could speak Cantonese and Mandarin. So they're fielding a lot of calls all day from not just my constituents, but people throughout Massachusetts, and we're providing the accurate medical information to them, pamphlets put out by the City of Boston Department of Public Health. So I want to say thank you to my colleagues for working closely with us on this issue, but I also want to reassure the public as well that Chief Martinez and his team are doing a very good job on this. They're providing accurate, updated information and working closely with the city, working closely with the state and the federal government as well. As I mentioned earlier, part of the outreach as well is to reassure the Chinese community that we support them, that we're here for them, and that we'll do everything we can to be assistance to them. And that includes making sure that we do address issues of racism and discrimination that is impacting the Asian community across our country. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Councilor Flynn. The chair now recognizes Councilor Arroyo. Councilor Arroyo, you now have the floor.
I want to thank Councilors O'Malley, Flynn, and Wu for their leadership. As the Chair of Public Health, I will ensure that a hearing is held as soon as possible. We must ensure that our city is prepared, that our hospitals, our health centers, our local, state, and federal health departments are working in partnership to address this issue. It's my hope that this hearing dispels many of the myths and rumors about the coronavirus. And I want to just also echo the sentiments of the resolution passed before led by Councilor Flynn and Councilor Flaherty, that racism and xenophobia are in no way a preventative measure for this epidemic and are never acceptable. And my hope is that this hearing will help to stabilize some of that as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The chair now recognizes Councilor Asabi George. Councilor Asabi George, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to thank the makers of this hearing order and ask that my name be added. About 2 weeks ago, my chief of staff's younger sister, who was a student at Simmons College, had left for a semester abroad in South Korea, and we were all very excited for that vacation, her trip, her school trip, and then Jessica's eventual vacation to visit her sister in the coming months. But within days of her arrival to South Korea, she got word from the South Korean local government that she needed to evacuate, she needed to leave by that following Friday. So she was in this program for less than a week and was only communicated with by the local officials. The university did not reach out, did not have information, and we were left scrambling in our office, following Jessica's lead to find a quick way home for her younger sister, Marilyn. I think it's important that through this conversation that we include the local colleges and universities, as we have so many here in the city of Boston, but so many of our kids are part of programs and studying abroad with very little information about maintaining their own health and wellness while abroad and transitioning back to Boston. So losing a semester of school, making sure that reimbursements are made, that courses and credits can be picked up, that they're flexible, that they're responding to the needs of their students and of our kids here in the city of Boston. So I applaud this effort. I look forward to a quick hearing under the leadership of Councilor Arroyo, and hope that the local universities will be included in this conversation, and really perhaps our Boston Public Schools, as we have students that do have vacation plans and study abroad programs in the coming months. I ask that my name be added. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else looking to add their name or speak? Wonderful. Mr. Clerk, could you please add Councilor Arroyo, Councilor Baker, Councilor Bach, Councilor Breadon, Councilor Campbell. We have Councilor Asabi George. Please also add Councilor Flaherty, Councilor Mejia, and please also add the chair. Docket 0458 will be referred to the Committee on Public Health. And we'll now move on to personnel orders. Mr. Clerk, if you could please read docket 0459.
Docket number 0459, Councilor Janey for Councilor Baker.
Councilor Baker seeks suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0459. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Docket 0459 has been passed. Mr. Clerk, docket 0460.
Docket number 0460, Councilor Janey for Councilor Baker.
Councilor Baker seeks suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0460. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Docket 0460 has been passed. Mr. Clerk, could you please read docket 0461?
Docket number 0461, Councilor Janey for Councilor Baker.
Councilor Baker seeks suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0461. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Docket 0461 has been passed. Now we will move on to late files. Okay, and I'm informed by the clerk that we have two late files. One is a letter from a colleague, and one is a personnel order. Hearing no objections, these matters will be added to the agenda. Mr. Clerk. Yes, please.
Dear Clerk Feeney and Council President Janey, I regret that I will be unable to attend the March 4th Council meeting due to a long-standing obligation. I look forward to joining my colleagues at the next council session. Please offer my congratulations to Councilor Arroyo on his speech. I can't wait to watch it. Regards, Councilor Lydia Edwards.
Thank you so much. And another one is just the personnel order.
Personnel order, Councilor Janey for Councilor Arroyo.
Councilor Arroyo seeks suspension of the rules, and he seeks to add this late file? Yes. personnel order. Moving on to green sheets. Oh, so we have to approve this. Can I see the matter for a minute? I'm so sorry. All right, so Councilor Arroyo seeks suspension of the rules and passage of this item to the late file. It is a personnel matter. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the matter has been passed. Thank you so much. We will now move on to the green sheets. Anyone wishing to move a matter from the green sheets may do so at this time. Absolutely great, wonderful. And now we are moving on to the consent agenda. I am informed by our clerk that we have two items, these two items here, and they are just resolutions and tribute. Seeing and hearing no objections, these matters will be added to the consent agenda. All those in favor of adding the items and passing the consent agenda, please say aye. Any opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. The consent agenda has been adopted. We will now move on to announcements. Anyone looking to make an announcement? The chair now recognizes Councilor Arroyo. Councilor Arroyo, you have the floor.
Just a brief